It is bigger. I feel the ground move under my feet. People look around like, what could it be? They point to the towers, they point to the rise, but this shaking in the dirt is a warning in disguise. Not just the walls, not just the stone, it's the weight.
Welcome to the Thought Brothers. You know, we have all recovered from last week's show with Donna and the Menopause Ladies. And so I think we call that a tie from last week. And so this week we decided no women allowed this week. It's just going to be the fellas. And so what we're going to do, we're just going to talk about things that fellas need to talk about. And we're going to call this show the Grown Man Rule. We are going to establish some grown man rules. And we have some grown men on this show. And this is how we're going to kick it off. I'm going to go through and ask the fellas to comment on some things. So tonight isn't about claiming, you know, we got life figured it out. We don't have life figured out. But we've been living long enough that we made some mistakes, we've learned some lessons, and we discovered some of those things that we need to share with others so they don't make the same mistake that we do. So here we go with the Grown Man Rule Book. We're going to talk about things that you rather know, barroom arguments. So let's just get started. Fellas, are you ready? We got Benny Yarbrough with us, the sax man who was here several weeks ago, who set the stage on fire. So here we go. We're going to talk about money. Carlos, complete this sentence. A grown man eventually learns that money blank.
A grown man eventually learns that money isn't everything?
Okay. All right. All right. Colonel Eric Garvin.
A grown man learns that money should not be your top priority.
Okay. All right. Benny Yarbrough.
Man, a grown man eventually learns that money's just a tool.
Okay. Say more about that, Benny.
I mean, it's what, if you treat it like a tool, you just throw it in the bag with all the other tools. It has no more priority than the next tool, than your education. It has no more priority than your health. It's just a way for you to obtain your wealth. That's it. It's just a tool. It's just an exchange.
All right. Stan the Man Harrison. A grown man eventually learns that money.
I have to agree with Brother Benny. Money is strictly a tool. It's a form of exchange. It's as old as time, and it's something that we have to use, not hoard.
Okay. CJ, a grown man eventually learns that money.
I think I kind of had the opposite as everyone else. I feel like money is everything. You can't do anything without money, good or bad. Even with your health, you know, health costs money here in America. If you want to maintain your health, you can't really make an impact. Even if you want to make a positive impact, that's going to be limited if you don't have the money to do so. And the people making the decisions, it's all, you know, centered around money. Politics, money is, you know, it rules everything. If you don't have it, you don't have the ability to do anything. And if you have a lot of it, as you see, even if you're a terrible person, it allows you to do anything. So
okay,
that's just my perspective.
You got it. Mr. Spivey.
A grown man learns that money can be the root of all evil. And if you don't have good health, money is not even important. Prime example, just a few days ago, Dolly Parton passed. She was at Vanderbilt Hospital, where she's given millions of dollars, but the money that couldn't save her.
Okay. All right. We're going to put that in the chapter.
Gary.
We're going to go to, yeah, go ahead, Carlos.
One more thing. Let me represent as the financial analyst on this. I mean, with all respect to Stan being the super financial analyst here.
The wealth builder. The wealth builder.
You know, when we're talking about money, it's not money that makes the world go round. It's credit. Whether it's your personal credit, whether it's your word. Some people do business and don't even exchange cash. Oh, I'll take rich men, rich women, I'll trade you the Ferrari for the Lamborghini. I believe back in the early 70s, I think a rich man who owned the Baltimore Colts traded it to another rich man who owned the Los Angeles Rams. We just traded money. Yeah, it was money. That's a value, but your credit will walk you into the car dealership, and you can walk out with a car without putting a penny or a dime down if you got the right credit. So I think people need to really think about that. That you think it's cash money or you think it's just straight money. No, in 2026, your personal credit and your financial credit is the key to living a great life.
Okay.
That's the financial analyst take.
You know,
All
Gary, I remember a conversation with you about 15 years ago. And you said if you have good credit, you don't need no money.
Good credit's better than money. Yeah, I said that. I also said when it comes to money, it ain't how much you make, it's how much you keep.
That's right.
Because when I lived up there in your neck of the woods where you're in CJ, I used to go to a Chinese restaurant, and a 3-time world champion, I used to run into him, boxing world champion, was there all the time. I'm not going to mention his name, but he made over $80 million. Saw him about 3 weeks ago. Word on the street is he's worth about $30K. It ain't how much you make, it's how much you keep. So with that said, we'll put that one in the book, chapter 1. We're going to go to marriage and relationships. All right, so here we go. Whew, Mr. Spivey, a grown man eventually learns that a successful relationship requires blank.
3 things. It requires work, it requires love, and it requires patience. If you don't have patience with your mate and work at keeping the marriage interesting, you're going to end up in divorce court.
You know what? We're going to establish a new feature. When I heard that, when I hear something that profound, we're going to ring the bell on that one. Whew, okay. Go ahead. My goodness. Eric Garvin, you've been married for a while. A grown man eventually learns that a successful relationship requires blank.
Teamwork, compromise, and saying yes, dear, often.
Okay. Carlos.
I am with Teddy Pendergrass. 50-50 love. You got to give as much as you can take. 50-50 will get you there. It can't be, what do you say? It can't be 40-60. Can't be 30-70. 50-50 love. That's my take.
Okay. CJ, a grown man eventually learns that a successful relationship requires blank.
That also requires some money. You're going to need to keep that. Finances have destroyed many, many relationships. And, that could cause some problems as well. So I'm going to say money again.
All right. Stan?
No, not as impactful as Brother Spivey, but I call them the 5 C's of any relationship or any successful relationship. Number 1, communication. Number 2, commitment. Number 3, connection. Number 4, consideration. Number 5, compromise. And I'm going to add a 6th one, and I'm going to pity my boy, CJ, cash. So we're going to say the 6 C's of a successful relationship. CJ, you got it, brother.
Benny, smooth Benny. Come on now.
Hey, listen, it requires emotional intelligence and emotional maturity.
Woo. Okay. Benny's going submarine deep on us. All right. We're going to put that one in the books. Now let's go to friendship. Benny, since you hot right now, a grown man eventually learns that a real friend
is rare.
Whoa.
It's rare. and listen, and when you understand that, you'll feel a lot better when you got to walk certain roads by yourself.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna stop you there, Benny. We don't want you to get this. Ain't no session now. I feel something coming on. I feel like you done been someplace. Don't take us with you now. Woo, Carlos, come on now.
I mean, it's the old cliche. There during the good times and the bad times. I think a lot of professional athletes can speak to that. Like you just spoke about one. I'm sure there was plenty of people in that professional athlete's camp when he was having good times, but now that he's having bad times, who's going to show up for him?
Mm.
Right.
Okay. All right. Eric Garvin.
Think good friends sometimes are there for a season. And just like you have to sometimes weed your garden, you have to weed your friends out as well. So
Man, okay. CJ.
No, I'm not gonna. I was gonna say it's valuable. It's a real friend is valuable. Like I said, echoing the sentiments that have been shared before. Like I said, it's rare and valuable.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Did I get you, Stan? I done
Not
lost
yet.
track.
Not
Huh?
yet. You're
All
good.
right, Stan and then Mr. Spivey.
All right. I'll go. A real friend is committed and available.
Okay. All right. Mr. Spivey, a grown man eventually learns that a real friend, blank.
A real friend is there when you need them, and a real friend will always tell you the truth, even when it's hard to hear.
Man. Woo. Okay. Yeah, my father told me one time, he actually told me a couple of times, he said, son, all you really need in life is one good friend.
That's right.
Yep.
That's all you
S-
need.
Speaking of fathers, we're going to go to fatherhood. Okay. A grown man eventually learns that his children need blank more than they need blank. Eric Garvin.
they need values and discipline more than they need stuff or things.
Whew, say that again.
They need value and instill discipline in them more than they need stuff or things.
Okay, thank you. CJ, a grown man eventually learns that his children need blank more than they need blank.
I was gonna say something very similar, but yeah, they need like effort and attention. They need to know that you care. Like there's no playbook, it's a lot of different, people have a lot of different parenting styles and things like that. But kids want to be seen. They want to know that like that they're the center of attention. So I feel like they require, that level of effort and personal, attention.
Okay. Mr. Spivey, grown man, eventually learns that his children need blank more than they need blank.
I'm with Eric. I believe children need discipline, and I believe they need that more than they need pampering. A lot of parents want to be a kid's friend and
Mm,
not the parent.
okay. Stan.
Our children need to be taught the love of self as opposed to being taught the love of things.
Whew. Okay. All right. Mr. Yarborough.
Man, children need our support. They need to know that we support them and our discipline more than they need gifts.
Okay. All right. I see a theme here. Go ahead, Carlos.
You know what? I'm a ride off CJ a little bit, but a grown man eventually learns that his children need his time
Mm.
more than they need his money.
Okay. All right. All right. That one's in the books for this week. Work. Carlos, a grown man eventually learns that his job, blank.
All right. A grown man eventually learns that his job is more than just a job. It's a way of life. If you don't master that job, no matter what it is, your quality of life is not going to be where it needs to be at. So no matter what you do, I always tell people, do whatever you do the best you can because your job ends up determining your quality of life.
Okay. All right. Eric Garvin.
A job should not define you.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to follow up with you, Eric. At what point should a man stop defining himself by his title, career, or paycheck?
Always. Mm.
I think early on in your career, uh, and if you allow me to expound upon that,
Yes,
just
sir.
this
Go ahead.
past Sunday, I had a Zoom call with my mentee. The young man from Kenya came from a herders tribe there in Kenya. He went to Tufts University, $500,000 worth of scholarship, won all the major awards, and now is working on Wall Street. And I had set up a session between him and an extremely wealthy former investment banker who volunteered to talk to my mentee. And during that conversation, he shared some really, really key things. He told my mentee a few times, you're going to make a whole lot of money, right? But here are the things that he specifically said. He said, figure out who you are and do not lose your identity to this job. And he was describing this environment when he was in that investment banker world and how there was one person that went to work. And then when he left work, he took off that mask and he became the real person that he wanted to be. So he was really emphasizing to do this thing and to also figure out what makes you happy, right? So instead of all the riches, he was really focused in on my mentee's health as a person and his happiness. And I thought that that was pretty profound coming from an extremely wealthy guy.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Spivey, a grown man eventually learns that his job blank.
I think somebody said it, that the job does not define you. I worked with people years ago who the only thing they did was eat and sleep their job. They had no outside things. And once they retired, they didn't know what to do. I mean, when you just let your job define you and that's the only thing you do and you have nothing else, you end up being a lonely person when that job is gone.
Okay. Thank you. CJ.
It's a necessary evil, regardless of, like say, what you're trying to do. Like say, you again, it goes back. You need money, regardless. So if you're lucky and you acquire the skills, hopefully you'll be able to eventually do something you love, as somebody stated before. But until then, you gotta suck it up and do what you gotta do to pay the bills.
Okay. Stan.
I'm going to say that your job, or at least what you do, should be a springboard to being your absolute best, whatever job that may be. Martin Luther King said it best. Regardless of what you do your absolute best at doing it. And in doing your best at your job, you become your best at everything else, or at least it should springboard you to being your best at everything else, whether that be a student, whether that be a parent, whether that being a financial analyst, regardless of what you do, that is your job at that time. So I'm saying that a grown man eventually learns that his work is strictly a springboard to doing your absolute best.
Okay. Benny.
I'm going to have to kind of piggyback on what Stan said there. Actually, man, when I think of a job, your job is a means to an end. It is there to get you to where you want to be. And that's it. It doesn't matter about the title that you have at a place of employment, because when you lay your head down, that title don't come with you. That title doesn't follow you into your house. So at the end of the day, that job is just a means to an end to help you get to where the lifestyle that you want to live. It's not your identity. I look at it, it's like money. It's a tool. You just helping me to get to where I need to get to. That's it.
Okay. All right. Money chapters in the books. CJ, we're going to lead with you. A grown man eventually learns that his health, fill in the blank.
It's expensive. It's like in America.
CJ back on the dollars.
See, back on that dollar.
Just saying, I mean, my insurance ain't that good. I don't know if you've ever had anything that happened to you with subpar insurance, but yeah, like it's expensive here in America, and it's very difficult to maintain your health and to eat healthy and to exercise and to find the time to do that in between, these jobs that consume so much of your time and family and things like that. So I would just say, it's expensive, but worth the investment.
I'll just say it at this point. Some of the stuff that we're coming up with, I think is going to be invaluable. It is invaluable in the perspective. We're going to make some connections here. Stan, grown man.
grown man, you realize that your health is really your wealth. So how you live your life, I think Brother Spivey mentioned it earlier in today's session, that health is extremely important. In fact, I would rather have health than wealth. In fact, by having health, it creates wealth. So in my opinion, your health is truly your wealth.
Okay. Benny Yarborough?
Ditto. I mean, your health is your wealth.
Okay. All right. Eric?
I say your health matters. And a short, very, very brief story of my 26 Air Force year career. Most of my contemporaries hated going to the doctor. I went to the doctor anytime something was bothering me because I made my health matter. So at the end of my career, I had two binders of my medical records, whereas most other folks had a very, very thin thing. But again, I thought that that was important, and it wasn't because I was unhealthy, just because when I thought I needed to go see a medical professional, I made it a point and a priority to do that.
Okay. Mr. Spivey, before you answer that question, based on what Eric said, and I'll open this up also, why do some men seem to take better care of their cars and their house and their lawn as opposed to their bodies?
Well, I've listened to people talk about health. And for me, uh, if you have poor health, you can't do anything. I mean, you think about it. You can't walk a long distance. You can't work long hours. I mean, poor health is something that can cripple you. But I think a lot of men, and I've heard guys say this before, and a lot of people will say it's a stupid statement, but I've heard people say, if I don't know what's wrong with me, I don't have anything to worry about. The
Yeah,
problem,
that's a stupid
that's a
statement.
stupid statement. But the problem is, if you don't know what's wrong with you and you feel you don't have anything to worry about, when you do find out what's wrong with you, a lot of times you're past the point of no return. And if you had found out what was wrong with you earlier, they may have been able to cure you and save you.
Hmm. Okay. Carlos.
Come on, a grown man eventually learns that his health is paramount. I mean, it's a priority. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, and I think as far as the statement concerning, why people take better, why men take better care of their homes, cars, and lawns, I'm gonna call it. Somebody said if you're scared, to say you're scared. I think a lot of men are scared to go find out what the doctor might tell them. And because of that reason, they say, I'll be all right. I don't need to go. That's what I think it is, or at least part of it.
Okay. Stan, we're gonna go with you on this one. We're gonna put those in the books. This is kind of would you rather. Okay. Would you rather know exactly when you're going to die or how you're going to die, Stan?
Now, Gary, just to set the record, and for anybody that comes after me, there is no on the fence. We either got to answer one or the other.
You damn
So
right.
I'm going to say that I would rather know how as opposed to when. And the reason why how is because knowing the when, I think that you'll live your life in such misery and agony knowing that that date is nearing. But not knowing that date, I'd rather know how. And I can live a little bit of better life, I think, by knowing how as opposed to when.
All right. I appreciate you sharing the logic that's driving that behavior there. CJ?
See, I feel like I would be driven crazy either way because then the how I would be on the lookout for whatever that event is. Like if they say a piano is going to drop on my head, I'm going to be looking for pianos everywhere for the rest of my life. You know what I'm? So I don't feel like it's either's a win. Let me know when. At least I could prepare. I could at least go out with a bang. I could plan the last hurrah. I could say my goodbyes. I can plan that out. So I'm gonna say when.
Okay. All right. Benny.
Man, I'd have to be with CJ. Man, let me know when. And the reason why I say let me know when, look, if I haven't gotten everything I need to accomplish, that means I got a hard deadline. Let me just go out here and go get it done.
Okay. Carlos,
Hey
when?
man, I saw in a movie where the guy wrote on the mirror, anticipation of death is worse than death itself.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Wow. In that case, you can just tell me how, because that don't mean I'm gonna die at 60, 70, or 80. I might strike 100 before the piano falls on my head. So just tell me how. I'm good.
Okay. Mr. Spivey?
I would like to know how I'm going to die. I have a unique situation because in my family, uh, probably 85 to 90% of people die in my family between December the 20th and December the 25th. I lost my mother on December the 24th. I lost my grandmother on December the 25th, and I had a double funeral on December the 28th. I had aunts and uncles, and everyone dies between the 20th and the 25th. So in my case, I always say, I know when I'm going to die. So that's why at Christmas time, I like to be doing something that I enjoy. I want to be away on a trip or doing something I enjoy because I don't know which December the 20th or 25th I'm going to leave here.
Wow. I didn't forget anybody, did I?
How do you go, Gary?
Come on,
Yeah.
Eric.
So Gary, for me, I am this is really a product of my life's experiences, just like Mr. Spivey just said. For me, I want to know when as opposed to how. I've had far too many tragic experiences where loved ones in my family have been murdered, and just knowing how I'm going to die, again, with the mindset it is something horrific, that would be worse than living just anticipating your demise is going to be somewhat traumatic.
Okay. I want to stick with you, Eric. Would you rather know what your friends really say about you when you're not in the room, or what your family really says about you when you're not in the room?
I'd rather my family, right? Because my family, while my friends are very important, and particularly my wife, right? I would want to know what she's thinking about me because that matters more to me than my friends.
Okay. Mr. Spivey, friends or family, you want to know what they have to say about you when you're not in the room?
I'm with Eric. I would prefer to know what my family thinks about me because, as far as friends, you wouldn't get a newspaper every morning that people didn't have something to talk about.
Okay. Carlos.
Yeah, I'm going with the theme, man. Family, man. I mean, I think that your family tends to have known you longer than most of your friends. Your family, a lot of family members you tend to live with, so they just simply know you better. And like Mr. Spivey said, I wouldn't say newspaper, but I would say that's why they have social media, right? For people to talk about people.
Okay. Benny.
Listen, I mean, I feel like we got some very smart brothers because I say the same thing. Family. I mean, we said sometimes friends come and go,
That's right.
Yeah.
but you know, your family knows your family knows your nightmares and your traumas, and they know your triumphs too, and they know your dreams. Family, and plus family, man, that's my responsibility. I don't owe no responsibility to my friends. I'm responsible to my family though.
Okay. Stan.
Believe it or not, man, when I looked at this question, I thought, family was my initial thought. But as I think about it a little bit deeper, we'll go a little submarine on this one. Yeah, we're concerned about what our families think about us and whether or not they love us or not. But really, we concern ourselves more with what our friends think. Because when our families don't agree with us, we stop talking to our families, but we seek that approval from our outside friends more than anything else. So I'm going to go with the friendship on this one.
Okay. CJ.
Definitely family. I pretty much know at this age, at this point, after all these years, the friends that I have left are pretty solid. The people that hate me with their whole chest. They don't have any secret friends that you're talking behind. Like you said, you only need a few good friends. So, you keep the ones that you trust, and everybody else I could care less about. So definitely family.
All right. All right. That one's in the books for now. Uh, let's see here. Benny, would you rather know the biggest mistake you ever made, or the biggest opportunity you unknowingly missed?
I'd have to say the biggest mistake I've ever made because I can learn from that mistake.
Okay. Stan, you're shaking your head. Is that a shake yes, a shake no, or a shake? What we got?
That's a shake of absolutely. Benny, you hit the nail right on the head, brother. That is perfect, man. You want to know what you did that you can correct, as opposed to an opportunity that you may have missed. Because once you miss that opportunity, Gary, that opportunity is gone. So give me an opportunity to make good on what I messed up. And I think that's part of wisdom, correcting mistakes that we made in the past.
Okay. Mr. Spivey, unknowing, would you rather know the biggest mistake you ever made or the biggest opportunity you unknowingly missed?
I'm going to go with the consensus. I would prefer to know the biggest opportunity the mistake that I made, simply because you learn from your mistakes and you try not to repeat them. And so I'll
Okay.
go with that.
All right. CJ?
I'm gonna go with everyone else. I think Stan hit it right on the head. You like said, knowing the mistakes, you can try to correct that, but once the opportunity's gone, it's gone, and no point in dwelling over an opportunity that's
Sure.
in the past. So,
Okay. Eric?
So I'm with the group. I'm going to add one additional element here. That's just say yes. I think it's better to know, what my biggest mistake is, because it gives me an opportunity to fix that. But I submit to you that if you know what your biggest mistakes are, that would encompass maybe one of your biggest opportunities. So you're learning from that. Here's an example of that. When I was a cadet at the Air Force Academy, one of my mentees, a white neighbor who lived around the corner, he really poured a whole lot into us, and he was big on investment. And he told me while I was a cadet at the Air Force Academy about Microsoft. Now, this is back in the late 70s time frame. There was only one problem with that. I didn't have any money to go invest in Microsoft, right? But what I learned from that was, hey, when these opportunities come around, make certain you have a little ducats.
That's right.
And so I've learned from that particular mistake.
Okay. Carlos?
I'm with the consensus, the panel, all the thought brothers here, and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was quoted as saying he learned more from the shots he missed than the ones he made. So that sums it up right there.
All right. I believe everyone on the panel has children. So, Carlos, would you rather know what your adult children really think about how you raise them, or what your spouse really thinks about the person you've become?
Hmm. You know what? Probably more from the children, because I think adults love to have real conversations. I think anyone who's in a loving relationship, long time relationship, I can't think of a man who hasn't had his wife tell him exactly how they felt about things. So for that reason, I'm going to say sometimes your children don't tell you everything. Sometimes your children don't tell you how they feel about everything. And if you could learn that, that might give you some insight into how to be a better person and maybe father.
Okay. Mr. Spivey?
I would really like to know what my wife thinks about me. But on the same hand, and I'm as Stan said, I'm not going to ride the fence. But this question brings back something I read. It was roughly probably about a year ago. And this guy was on death row, and he was getting ready to be executed. And on death row, they ask you, I think you get a wish. Most people want food before they die. But this guy wanted a piece of paper and a pencil. And he wrote a letter to his mother. And I'm going to try to just paraphrase it because I don't want to take up a lot of time. But he said to his mother, he said, "You probably don't remember when I beat up so and so, a person, when we were in elementary school, and you got on the teacher because I had beat this kid up. You didn't discipline me." And he said, "You don't remember when I stole the bicycle and you hid it in the closet because I said I didn't do it." And he says, "Now I'm going to die. And all the things that you protected me from that I did, I wish you hadn't, because I wouldn't be here getting ready to die." And so, uh, it brought back a memory. Sometimes you have to wonder what your kids think of you also.
Okay. Eric.
Man, that was deep. Just probably just laid on us. That was really deep. Great, great story. I'm gonna again, my wife and I, she's my ride or die. I'm more interested in her feedback takes precedence over my daughter's feedback.
Okay. Benny.
Man, I have to go with the kids in this case. Um, Simply because there are things that they may see and may not have just understood or might want clarification on. Because their minds are still and they're still developing the way that they look at things, and their perspective is different. Listen, we it was one way the way we thought when we were 21. It's different when we were 30. It's different when we were 40. And so that over time, that perspective, that time gives us a different perspective. And a lot of times, our children are starting to come into that perspective. Whereas my spouse, on the other hand, we've walked this journey. And if you're a wise man, you already have those discussions about, what you think of me, because I've been there, you've been there at my absolute worst and my absolute best. So, uh, I think I just have to say it has to be to my kids.
Okay. Stan.
I'm gonna have to say that my spouse and what I've become as a man means more to me than children. Because we all know as men, when you raise children from infants all the way through adulthood, you notice that, going back to what Benny said, they go through a pattern. When they're young, you know everything as a father. Once they become teenagers, you know very little. Once they become in their early 20s, you know absolutely nothing. Then once they hit 30, you begin to know a little bit. And once they hit 40, you're the smartest man on earth. So I would say that with kids, their opinions of you is going to change based on the cycle and where they are in life. But when it comes down to the growth that you've had as an adult, I believe that what your spouse thinks of you is going to be much more important, because the child is going to change based on their circumstance and where they are in life.
Okay. All right. CJ.
I'm just gonna say the kids, even though my child is 10, so I don't have a lot of, not I don't have an adult child yet, but at the same time, I've known my lady since we were in high school, so I pretty much know what she thinks of me.
Okay. All righty. Now, gentlemen, CJ, open up your mic because I'm going to start with you this time. Would you rather know that your best years are behind you, or know that your greatest accomplishment hasn't happened yet?
I would hope that my best years are ahead of me. I hope, Jesus, like I hope there's something better ahead. So that would always be if my best days are behind me, then that's not good.
Okay. All right. Stan.
I agree with CJ. Having that thought that your greatest accomplishment has yet to be taken, it gives you what I call a greater sense of pride. It gives you a greater sense of ownership. Gives you a greater sense of energy, knowing that there's much more to come. And you think every day that you've done so great, but realizing that, hey, there's something even greater that you have yet to accomplish certainly is going to put a lot of energy in your sales, and it's going to force you into a new state of mind.
All right. Mr. Benny.
Man, listen, I want. I'm torn. This the one of the ones I want to say both, but I know we can't say both. So, actually, man, honestly, I'd want to make sure that my greatest accomplishment hasn't been achieved yet, right? Because that
Okay.
way, I don't want to know that what I've done, like the very best I've ever produced and created, that's it. As a musician, that no, I want to know that my greatest accomplishments are still ahead of me. Gives me some drive, some gumption, some get up and go.
Okay. Carlos.
Man, come on, man. Being able to look forward to your greatest accomplishment still, that's huge. I mean, you think about guys like Nelson Mandela. He did a lot when he was young, but he didn't become president of South Africa till he was what, almost 80 years old. Man, I'm looking forward to the future. I don't want to hear about my best days are behind me. I don't want to hear that.
All right, Mr. Spivey.
I would like to know that my greatest accomplishments are yet to come. If you know that you have greatest accomplishments ahead of you, it gives you something to live for. It gives you something to work for. But if you don't have anything to live for, work for, then you're a sad person. So
Okay. All right, Eric.
I don't think Mr. Spivey said it perfectly, as did the other guests. And to me, the recurring theme is it gives you a reason to live and it motivates you. Having something to shoot for, knowing that your best is yet to come. So I am definitely with the accomplishments.
All righty. In the books. Now we're going to get to our barroom argument where we have to build some stuff. For our viewers, I'm going to go through the list, but I also will show it on the screen. But the scenario is you have $100 to build your life. And here is the allotment that you have to choose from. Perfect health for the rest of your life will cost you $40. $5 million tax-free will cost you $40. The perfect marriage and relationship will cost you $30. You never have to work again for $30 as you build this house. You're guaranteed to live to 100 years old, $25. You can relive 1 year of your life for $25. You can travel anywhere, anytime for $20. You can be debt-free for life for $20. You can have 5 of the best loyal friends for only $15. You can know your complete family history for $15. Your children and your grandchildren can be financially secure for the low, low price of $35. And then finally, one 24-hour day with someone that you've lost, you can have for $25. Now, brothers, I'm going to go. I know you've shared this with us, but I'm going to go and ask you to just basically explain how you've allotted your money. So, Carlos, let's go with you. We call you the money man. So let's see what you got.
Well, you know what? When I answered mine, if you notice, I didn't make the full purchase, but I sort of allotted my money into different categories. But all in all, it was pretty close. Like for perfect health for the rest of your life, I'm buying that. Okay. Because when you think about perfect health, you're thinking about mental health and physical health, right? Okay. And that's power. I mean, that could be power, wisdom. That changes the game right there. And I put 30. I purchased this one too because I broke my allotment up a little bit different, but I'm gonna go with this to stay on pace. Perfect marriage relationship. The reason I picked that one is because you realize as you get older, you really need a partner. Like when you're younger, you sort of date based off looks only. You don't even care if you have something in common or not. When you get older, it's pretty important to have something in common. It's sort of important to make sure you enjoy spending time with the person you're married to. That ends up being the person you travel with, you eat dinner with, you go to the movies with, you do all these different things. And here's the kicker. If you don't get that right, woo, that can tear down your mental health, your physical health, that can tear down your financial health. I mean, I think Chris Rock said, you picked the right person. Life is good forever. You picked the wrong person. Oh my God. Life is bad forever. So to me, perfect health and a perfect marriage relationship, which maybe we said perfect, right? Nothing's actually perfect, but if you can get those two under your belt, that makes a big difference. And here's the one that's going to get you. I passed on the $5 million tax free. Okay. The reason I passed on the $5 million tax free is because of what Gary said earlier in the show. There was an athlete who had $80 million. Got less than 30,000 right now. People who get money without earning it sometimes take it for granted and overspend it. You get 5 million, they might go out and buy a $5 million house and then try to figure out why they don't have any money left. Or they buy the house and can't figure out why they can't pay, I don't know, the $50,000 a month utility bills on this $5 million house. So to me, that seems like an evil trap. And if you look at the people who have won lotteries over past years, they've been broke usually, I believe, in 5 or 10 years. There's a lot of them that have gone to jail. Some of them committed suicide. There's been murders. I mean, it's been total chaos. And they said that their friends and family pretty much make their lives a living hell from them having so much money. So I'm going to pretty much tie it all together. You got perfect health, mental and physical. That leads to power, wisdom. That can point you in the right direction for so many things. If you got a great relationship with somebody who's going to be there to support you and be there no matter what, through thick and thin, and give you peace of mind when you come home, and when you really need them, they got your back. Oh man, you could live a long, enjoyable life. And
All right.
I think there was one last one. uh, it's going to throw me off a little bit, but I think it was really important to have, if you could have 5 absolutely loyal friends. Let me tell you something. You meet hundreds, if not thousands or millions of people in your lifetime. If you can get 5, if you got 5 people you can call that got your back, man, that'll carry you a long ways. That's my take.
Okay. Benny, how you spending your money?
Man, listen, I'd have to kind of defer, because I took this as, if this happened today, I'm appreciative of the health, but give me the 5 million. And the reason being is because exactly what Carlos said. I know what not to do. I have enough examples. I know how to put it away. I know how to invest it. I know how not to overlive it. I would already, in my own vision of where I am now, already have a plan for $5 million now, and I don't have 5 million. So I'd already know how to be a steward over that 5 million. And it's tax free. That means the interest I make off of that is tax free if I put it away right.
Right.
So
Okay.
I want the 5 million. Now, the rest, there was a lot, I was like, but when I really looked down to it, give me $15 to understand my complete family history. Because I looked at that would be wisdom. Because now I can look at my entire family history and break every generational curse and go ahead and take the $35 and make sure that my children and my grandchildren are now financially secure.
Right. Okay.
I can now leave an inheritance. I'm good. And, with this $100, I can go pay my tithes if I need to, if you're a believer, because I got $10 left over.
Okay. Is it anything else? You got $10 left over?
I got $10. There's nothing on the board for $10.
All right. Okay.
Now, unless somebody want to spot me 5, I'll go get 5 loyal friends.
You ain't spent wisely.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Spivey.
I said, so he didn't spend wisely.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. You go ahead. We on Bill Spivey now.
Okay. I got $100.
Yep.
I'm going to spend $40 for perfect health. I'm going to spend the other $40 for the $5 million tax free. And I'm going to spend the other $20 I have left for debt free for life. Now, if I got $5 million tax free, I can take $2 million of that and I can use it for me and my wife to do whatever. I can take 3 million and I already checked and give it to Stan 4%. I'm gonna make $120,000 after 12 months.
Right.
And so, and if my life is debt free, you can go down the list. I don't ever have to work again. I'm not worried about living to 100 because if I have perfect health, the dice say I'm gonna probably live to 100. Revive one thing in my life. With the money, I can travel anywhere. And 5 absolute friends. I think somebody said on here, you know what? You can't count on friends. And I don't need 5 friends if I got $5 million. know my complete family. Know my complete family history.
Hey, if you set it up right, it might be a tax write-off.
If I got perfect health, I don't need to know my family history. And as far as my children and grandchildren, I'm gonna give Stan that $3 million. He's gonna invest it at 4%. I'm gonna set aside some of that money for my children and grandchildren. And finally, the last one on spend 24 hours a day with someone I lost. And in my case, that would either be my mother or my grandmother, but I don't want to do that because then I got to suffer that loss all over again. So I don't want to do that. So, I figure with perfect health and $5 million and a debt-free life, everything else on here I can do.
Okay. All right, Stan, you're getting quite a bit of shine here, brother. Let's make sure your microphone is working good because your microphone's been muffled a little bit. So
you better invest my money right.
Yeah, that's right. He sound like the male version of Rihanna. Better have my money.
Right. Otherwise, Guido is going to visit him in the middle.
Come on, Stan.
Bobby, I noticed that, man. Out of the 5 million, you only gave me 3. So that means you're keeping 2 under your mattress there. So I need all 5, man, so we can make it into some big dollars. So here's what I did, brother. I have to agree with most of what has already been said. Carlos, you nailed it when it came down to the health. So I looked at this entire list. This was a great question, Gary, by the way.
Thank you.
I looked at the entire list. I said, if I have $100 and what are the most expensive things on this list and what are the least expensive things on this list? So the most expensive things on this list, of course, is perfect health and having $5 million. So there's a story that I tell to most of the kids that I do presentations on, and here is the game that I play with them. I split them up into 2 groups based on their answer. I asked them, would you rather have $1 million cash today directly out of my pocket, or would you rather me double a penny for the next 30 days? I split the group up, and then we discussed having that penny double over 30 days. Once we get to about day 20, most of the kids who accepted the $1 million want to gravitate over to the kids that accepted that penny doubling over that 30-day period. The point in that example or that story is that if you double that penny over 30 days, you double it every day, you end up with something around $14 million. So having that 1 million or that 5 million is not that important. So that's the reason why I selected never have to work again. So I took my first 40, I bought good health. I took my second 30, and I had the perfect marriage, because when you have the perfect marriage, you have the perfect friendship. And then I knew I had only $30 left. So I spent that last $30 on never having to work again. Because if I have good health and I have a great spouse, and having a great spouse includes a lot of benefits for men. You have someone that's going to take care of you, someone that's going to be there as a companion in more than one way, and someone to help you through, some rough times. Just because you have good health doesn't mean that you're not going to have some rough times. So having that support system, having that connectivity ground you, never having to work means a lot of things. To me, as a wealth manager, it tells me that I have all the money that I need because I never have to work again. And having all the money that I need also allows me to do exactly what Brother Spivey mentioned, which is leaving inheritance to my children's children. So that's I maximize my entire $100 based on a theory that as long as I have these three, I can do everything. And going back, and I'm gonna double back on what Brother Bobby said. He said, if you have money, you don't need friends, and that's true because when you have money, friends are automatic. You don't have to buy them; they're automatic.
They're coming to you.
All right. Come on, CJ.
You know, I need that $5 million. $5 million to solve literally every single
Yes,
problem I
yes.
have in my life right now. So I don't even want the health without the $5 million because if I'm gonna just live to 100 and being broke, then I'm good off that. Like, just run me the 5 million first. I need that because I'm with Mr. Spivey's logic. I can invest that. I can leave something from my kids. You know, I could do like I can invest a lot. I'm not blowing that money. I'm not about to start living like a rapper or a ball player just because I got $5 million. So again, if you're smart with that, you can invest that. You could grow that. I could produce my own album. I could do everything I need to do with that. I That's cool. And then I don't have to work and things like that. If you're smart with it, like I said, if you invest it right, and if you use it right. So that's first and foremost. I need that. Then perfect health. If I got the money, now give me the perfect health because I have a nice quality of life now, and be able to actually enjoy the years that I have here on this earth and things like that. And then I mean, the last 20, it's a toss up. That's all I need for real, for real. I could just run me to 80, but I said travel anywhere I want, but the debt was also whatever the last $20. Both of those are good options. I like to travel, so taking the travel cost out of the 5 million would be dope to just be able to travel wherever I want. And I like to travel a lot, so I just put that. But I really just need that 5 million, honestly.
Okay. Eric.
So many of you are familiar with my son's story. So I'm going to begin with the 24-hour day with someone you lost. I lost my son 3.5 years ago to murder, lawyer, avid traveler, and he was in Santiago, Chile, enjoying a vacation, and these two gang members shot him and killed him. So I would love to spend 24 hours with them so I could tell him all the things that I didn't get to tell him while he was here in the land of the living. I would love to go fishing with them and have these very deeply philosophical conversations with him. So that's how I'd spend my first $25. The other $20 I would spend is to travel anywhere, anytime. My wife and I are avid travelers. We travel extensively, and that gives us a lot of life. And we really, really love that a lot. Now, I debated on the perfect health and the perfect marriage relationship, but I opted not to choose it, even though that was extremely appealing. And my logic was this, in life, we have mountain experiences and we have valley experiences. We have bad days and we have good days. And it's those bad days and those valley experiences that help you grow and help you appreciate the good times and the mountaintop experiences. So I think it's important to have that mixture in your life as opposed to smooth sailing all the time, because I think those bad days really do help you grow. And given that I'm in the fourth quarter of my life, the other option that I chose was my children and grandchildren being financially secure because I've lived my life and I want them to have that security as well. And, Benny and Stan really hammered home this point about finances, your jobs being a tool. Well, being financially independent is really important because it gives you, hey, if you get into a situation where someone is degrading you on your job or whatever the case might be, you have the ability to say you can take this job and shove it, right? And that is extremely important for anyone. So that's how I use my money.
Okay. Oh, gentlemen, I just got a headline here. Man, this wouldn't be the Thought Brothers unless we had some kind of a curveball here, Mr. Spivey. It looks like each one of you is getting a refund of $25. $25 refund. Oh my goodness. Are you going to change or buy something different now, Carlos?
Come on, man. Hey, look, I had a few dollars left over from the start, man. That debt free for life, and also that travel anywhere, anytime. I tried to go with the basics to just make life better, right? With the things I chose, with the perfect health, the $5 million. I'm sorry, perfect health, perfect marriage, and the loyal friends. But man, if you can be debt free for life, man, that gives you some freedom. And if I got a couple dollars left, man, let me get on that jet and just fly wherever I want to fly. I'm using that 25 with my, I don't know, 15 or 20, and that's what I'm buying.
Okay.
Debt free.
Benny, you got your $25 life rebate. What you got?
Hey, listen. If I got my $25 with what I have left over, oh yeah, listen. First of all, I will be going ahead and because I can't get perfect health. I'm a little shy, so I would actually, man, at that point, man, debt free for
Okay.
life. Oh yeah,
All right. Mr. Spivey, you got a $25 life rebate. You buying anything?
I probably would use that $25. I would use 20 of it, and the five I would just let it go because I chose debt free along with my 5 million and my perfect health. So I would probably use 20 to just travel anywhere, anytime.
Okay. Stan?
With Mr. Spivey, I'll take the 20 out of the 25 and travel.
Okay. CJ?
So if I had 20 left over, I get another 25 on top of that, is what you're saying?
Yes, that's right.
Run me another 5 million. That's enough for another. that's another. I got $5 left over.
Hope CJ wins the lottery.
He got 10 million. He got 10 million.
CJ said, "Run me my money."
Hey, look, CJ, I got a bunch of lottery tickets right here. I'm gonna go through them today, bro, and we're gonna see what we can do. Eric,
Hey,
you got a life rebate of 25.
I'm going to take that debt free for life, but I'm not going to use it for myself. I'm going to use it for my two granddaughters.
Okay. All right. All right. We just about running out of time, but here's what I want to do. Give you all one last opportunity. Just kind of sum up. We've talked about money, marriage, friendship, fatherhood, work, health, mortality, priorities, but you get one final entry into the grown man rule book. It can be about anything, anything. Mr. Spivey, what's your rule? We're going to close out. You all can have one rule that you can add to the grown man rule book. What's yours?
Now, I thought about this, and my rule is real simple. Whether you're a single mother or whether you're a two-parent household, teach your kids manners, to respect themselves, and to respect others, and do not act like a fool in public. I watch kids, and when I say, and you heard me say this before, my mother used to always say, times will change, but certain things never change. I look at TV, which is a lot of times reality, and your parents will be on the phone. Kid walks in a room, you're on the phone. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you right now. Back in my day, you walk into a room and two adults are talking, your mother will look at you and say, do you see grown folks talking? And you wait your turn. That kind of thing has gone out of the window. And respect yourself and respect others. Don't go out in public wearing bonnets and bedroom shoes.
Okay. All right. Carlos, your one rule.
I mean, I think it's no different than the golden rule that's been around forever. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. I mean, you can't go around causing chaos and expect people not to cause chaos back. But if you go around and show some love and do things the right way, maybe people show some love and do things the right way towards you and your family. So that's mine.
Eric Garvin.
So I would just say I think it's important for you to understand that life is not a solitary journey, and the importance of understanding that you don't navigate life's journey all by yourself, which means you have to depend on other people. And one of the folks who taught us that lesson extremely well was none other than the legendary UCLA basketball coach, John Wooden. when he talked about he didn't have any superstars, even though he had Lou Alcindor and Bill Walton and a whole slew of other folks. He said the team was a superstar. And it's important to recognize that in life, that it's important for you to recognize that you need to depend on other people and most importantly, have a faith in God.
Okay. Thank you. Benny.
Ah, man, I thought about this one for a while. My response, actually, man, my answer would be if I was to put a rule in, uh, it would be your situation is never as bad as you think. Someone always has it worse off than you do. And when you understand that, it comes from, hey, listen, they always say, man, life be lifing. Listen, if life is not lifing, you're not living. So it's okay, and you're not gonna be alone. But just know it. Someone always is worse off than you.
Okay. Thank you, Stan.
Rule as a man and I rule as a father. Rule as a man, and I believe that rules are not to be broken. These are things that you're going to live by, and they stand true through the test of time. Rule number one as a man that I'll contribute, adding to what the brothers have already said, there is no right way to do a wrong thing. That's a stand rule. Rule as a father, and any kid that has been taught by me in terms of wealth building, any kid that's ever lived under my roof knows this rule. You never buy anything that you cannot buy twice.
Okay. CJ, you have the final word.
I kind of piggyback off of Benny. I kind of agree. It's just kind of nobody wants to hear you complain. You just kind of gotta shut up and provide and get it done. Like I said, somebody always has had it harder or has had it worse. So, nobody really cares. Like as a man, people won't have as much sympathy for you. So just shut up and get it done. That's all you can do.
All right. All right. This has been a good show. I think when I come back and watch the show, I'll have my notepad and I'll be jotting down some of these rules here. But this has been a great show, fellas. I really appreciate it. We'll have to do this again. But for right now, this is the first episode of the Grown Man Rule Book featuring the Thought Brothers and our guests. I'm Gary Johnson for the Thought Brothers. Until next week, we are out of here.
Right.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
Families weeping under the dust. Homes built on pride and kingdoms built on lust. Children of promise, land in his hand. You can't keep pressing what you don't understand. Every wrong deed, every crooked plan leaves a mark in the earth, leaves a mark on man. He sees the land, he sees the line, he sees the crossing every single time. And when enough is enough, when the mercy grows thin, the shaking starts speaking. Shape it up, 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 shake it up, shake it up, get it right. Shake it up, tonight. He's not pleased, he's calling us here. That tremble in the ground means his return is near. If the sky goes dark and the walls come down, still call on mercy. When the judgment sounds, let the proud follow, let the broken rise. Before it all crumbles, open up your eyes. Shake it up, get it right. Shake it up, tonight. He's not pleased, he's calling us here. That tremble in the ground means his return is near. Shake it up, all around. When he has had enough, it all comes down. Shake it up.